How are y'all doing today? My name's Chris. Welcome to Bourbinsane. We're back today and we are here. It is the finals, Battle of the Bourbon series, best barrel proof on the market. We've got our final four tasting. Now this is the moment I've been waiting for, moment you've been waiting for. We started out with 16 barrel proof whiskeys, put them head to head in blinds of 4, moved 2 ahead to the next round until we got to this point. So in my opinion, these are the best 4 whiskeys blind, that I had out of all 16. So if you haven't been following the series, make sure you go check out those episodes first so you know how we got to this point. I'll tell you what, all 16 of these, not bad whiskeys by any means. This final 4 though is truly, truly loaded and stacked. So let's get right into it, I want to find out what my results are, what my true favorite barrel proof is. So let's shuffle these up first for you. Alright, that's good. Now these were already blind, caps have been off for about 10-15 minutes, so we'll go ahead and throw the caps back on. Got my water next to me, I got the results in an envelope. Let's get right into it. Ooh, a little bit of almost like a nuttiness comes through on this initially for me. Maybe it's not nuttiness. I don't know. Give me a second here. Like I said, these have been opening up for 10 minutes, so theoretically the alcohol burn should have been gone by now, but this does smell hot. A lot of brown sugar. A lot of barrel tannins coming through on this. Cherry for sure too. There's a huge cherry note in there. Sweetness, cherry, really nice nose. Oh, boy. That's like a candy-coated cherry, man. It's not so much like chocolate-covered cherry. It's more like deep, rich, dark cherry with just sugar sprinkled on top of it. That's what it is. I don't know. That's really, really good. Awesome mesh of oak and the sweetness. I mean, a lot of sweetness coming through on that, but really, really nice. All right, let's go into sample number 2. Okay. This has got a really nice balance. Just first thing I'll say on the nose, like nothing is jumping out more than another. Not too much oak, not too much sweetness. Nice, deep, rich nose. Again, big barrel char coming through for me. I love that barrel char note when it comes through, especially if it's a creaminess and not like a dry barrel tannin. This definitely smells like it's got some age too. That oak is definitely starting to show itself. Wow. Oak takes over there too. So front of the palate, explosion of sweetness, creaminess almost. A lot of deep caramel and vanilla. Describe that in every bourbon, but holds true. In the front of the palate, just want to hold it right there. Hold it right on the tip of your tongue because that's where all that flavor is. But as it works its way to the back of the palate, that's where like the oak starts settling in. That's definitely got age. When you try it like that, you can definitely tell there's oak there too. So really, really good offering. All right, sample number 3. Seems a bit more muted on the nose compared to the first 2 at least. For some reason this is giving me almost astringent oak note. It's still not a bad nose by any means. It just doesn't have the like the depth and complexity that seem to come through more on both 1 and 2. This definitely has nuttiness now. I mentioned nuttiness in the first one, I think it was, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. Yeah, nuttiness is on the brain now for some reason, so. Nice though. Still nice. Palate's really good too. Sweet, creamy oak takes over on the palate. I was a little nervous with that astringent oak that came through on the nose. None of that on the palate, No alcohol burn, no astringency. Just delicious creaminess. Excellent mouth coating. Man, this is going to be a hard round. It makes sense. I mean, these are my 4 favorite barrel proof whiskeys, so we'll see what happens. All right, sample number 4. Another good nose. What do you know? Oh, this is giving me banana notes almost. A little bit of banana coming through. A lot of fruitiness. I'd say banana and cherry are the two that pop out. Oh, man. Doesn't smell as hot either. 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, both didn't smell super hot compared to 1 and 2. 1 and 2 both smelled hotter and drank hot. But these are really, really good too. Really good noses. Almost a chocolatiness, like denseness, you know, think like baking chocolate. Oh, that palate. I don't think I like the finish as much on this as I did some of the previous offerings. It just left a little short, not a very long finish. I think it's a little bit lower proof than the rest as well. Just the way it's coming through. Nothing wrong with the flavor profile. That's classic bourbon. You know, that's a classic bourbon flavor profile. Definitely something you want to give to your friends if they are starting to appreciate bourbon and they're moving into higher proof stuff. That's just everything classic bourbon. So, wow. First time through. I don't know where I'm going to go from here. So, let me take 10 minutes, let the palate rest like usual. We'll be back in just a second, guys. Alright everyone, we are back. Took about 15 minutes, let them open up, drank a lot of water. We're back to it. Let's start at 4, work our way back. See if anything changes. Oh, this smells hotter than the first time through. I think taking that 15 minutes, rest in the nose. It's not to the point where it's punching the face like some barrel proofs do though. It's just a nice balance, a nice mesh. Very desserty though, very desserty. That banana and cherry I described the first time through is really coming through for me. It's almost a whipped vanilla in there too. It's just making me think of like a banana Foster or kind of cherry mesh dessert. Wow. Boy, that's so good on the palate. I mentioned an astringent oak the first time through. None of that here on this. That really dissipated, I think, given that like a half hour to open up from the beginning to now. Really helped a lot. It really did. Really, really good stuff. This frickin' round is going to be the death of me because you have to realize anything negative I might say about one of these whiskeys, it's really nitpicking. I've got my favorite 4 barrel proofs, and that's probably my favorite category of whiskey. So, give me a break, okay? All of these are excellent pickups, excellent buys, I'll tell you right now. Alright, let's go back to number 3. Again, nose is better than the first time through. Again, it was that astringency. I'll tell you what, barrel proofs, make sure you give them at least 20 minutes to open up. For sure. A lot more nuttiness coming through on this for me this time. Almost like a dusted peanut with a dusted oak. Heavy caramel though. I mean, a lot of caramel. It's honestly reminding me of like the caramel syrup you would put on ice cream. It's like vanilla ice cream. They come in that little, I don't know, Heinz or whatever the brand is, like the caramel drizzle topping, caramel topping for your ice cream. That's really popping out for me with like some crushed or shaved peanuts on top. It's pushing a little bit of almost like a mustiness. Like when I said I mean like musty oak. And when I describe like musty oak personally, for me that's just signs of an older whiskey. Probably at least 9-10 years I would say on this. Just because of that slight mustiness that comes through. It's not like an off-putting, musty, basement, disgusting smell or taste. It's really, really nice. Really creamy, great mouthfeel. Another hitter. Pretty sure I might be saying that about all these. Alright, let's go back to sample number 2. Oh. Man. Boy, that is nice. That is so nice. Again, I think I described this one first time through with this as just barrel char. Like barrel char and brown sugar. And I imagine like a brown sugar aged in a barrel. Like that's what this smells like to me. A lot of oak. Again, a lot of age. None of the mustiness. I think the proof overpowers that musty note that could come through. But the oak is most definitely present on this too. got some burn. But front of the palate, the flavor explosion it gives you on the tip of your tongue, and then coats, just sticks to the side of your palate, working down to the back of your palate. Incredible. Like, that's an incredible whiskey. Blind, if I didn't know, I mean, I would say these are pushing $100 whiskey, some of these. Like, that's how good they are. For what I would pay, at least, drinking it on a special occasion. I was going to say daily basis, but I can't afford whiskey that expensive. So, all three solid offerings so far. All right, let's go back to sample number one. So sugary. I mean, it's so sugary. It's, for some reason, reminding me of like a Larceny Barrel Proof with that extra wheat sweetness that comes through. It's almost like Splenda sugar sweetness. Heavy cherry again, heavy barrel char, and almost a little bit of chocolate note on that nose. Not as much chocolate as I got on 4, but this is definitely hotter. Definitely hotter than sample 4. Holy crap. I don't know. How do you pick? I'm sorry. I don't know what to choose for what I like most. I'm thinking about it now, which I shouldn't do. I should do it off camera. So let me take 10 minutes. I'm sorry I didn't give any tasting notes on the last one, but I got to really think about it. I got to put these side by side off camera. Give me about 10-15 minutes. I'll be back in just a little bit. All right, we're back. That was a long time off camera, deliberating. I don't know. We'll see. I just went purely by what I liked most. I didn't try to think of what these were, what brand, anything like that. So I just went by what I liked most. So let's go right into the results here. We'll start with my 4th choice, which was B. And B today, holy cow, Knob Creek Single Barrel Reserve. Surprising, honestly. For those of you that hadn't seen, this won my single barrel Battle of the Bourbon series out of everything, every single barrel I put in there. Phenomenal whiskey. Again, as I mentioned, we're nitpicking here, guys. We're nitpicking, we really are. 12-year label, actually, with the 100 proof. Really good. Surprisingly really good, and I'll be reviewing that actually very soon on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But the single barrel picks, if you can find them, $50, $40 in other states other than Michigan. One of the best, if not the best value in bourbon. Honestly, I stand by that. Next choice is D. This is my 3rd choice. D was the 1920. Okay, I didn't know if it could win. My go-to daily pour, if I want something a little bit higher proof, it is. You know, flavor profile of Brown-Forman is so desserty. It's like dessert in a glass. The cherry banana makes sense now when I was describing that. This is the sweet spot in the Whiskey Row series, in my opinion. A lot of people love the 1910. I love the 1910 myself. But this with the proof, 115 compared to 93 with the 1910, it's an instant pickup at $60. It just is. It's an instant pickup at $6. And pro tip, try a 1915. Put some 1910 and some 1920 together. So good. Second choice. This is my top 2. This is serious now. C. Stag Junior. Oh, this was the hardest debate I had between these two. Stag Junior and then our number 1 winner. Phenomenal Stag Junior. Of course, Buffalo Trace product, difficult availability. If you can find it, $65, even I would pay upwards of like $75 these days if I found it at retail, because I like it that much and it's so hard to come by. Awesome pour. Awesome pour. It's just great. The sweetness that Buffalo Trace gets out of their whiskey, I don't know how they do it, but it's like they add sugar to their whiskey. That's what it is. And the depth and complexity that comes out of a Stag Junior batch, wonderful stuff. That means our number 1 choice, and this was a tough choice, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Now don't forget, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, I put in the batch A119, so I didn't include a batch that I thought would blow away the competition. I wanted it to be an average batch, at least in my opinion. It still came out on top. It did, it still came out on top because it's that good of a whiskey. This is much more available for me than Stag Junior, and I like it more apparently. So 60 bucks is state minimum around here, I think, and wonderful stuff. I mean, just wonderful stuff. Heaven Hill really knows what they're doing, and even a bad batch of Logic Creek Barrel Proof, still better than about 80-90% of the whiskeys on the market. That's the truth to me. So if you can find any of these four, please pick them up, especially at retail. All right. Thank you all so much for watching the series, supporting the series. If you haven't already, please do give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. You'll know when I go live, when I put out new videos. I do have a Patreon page if you're interested in supporting the channel. I do things like going to Kentucky, putting out distillery reviews, going to the distilleries, talking about them, you know, what the tour's like. We're going to be doing that next year coming up. So I'm going to hit Kentucky again, do some more tours, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But Patreon is the best way to support the channel. I do have a website as well, Bourbinsane.com, if you want to pick up some challenge coins. As you saw, the whiskey caps we had on top of our Glens today. I've got about probably 30-40 left. So if you want batch 3, they are available now, Bourbinsane.com. But I couldn't be more grateful that you're just here, hanging out, drinking whiskey with me, watching this episode, watching this blind. If you have suggestions of what you want to see coming up, whether it be reviews, more blinds, head-to-heads, things like that, let me know down in the comments below. I'm happy to bring them to you. Any excuse for me to drink whiskey is a good day. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay insane.